Stop blaming yourself for being lazy. Poor execution isn't about laziness. It's just that you don't get these things. Ever had this experience? At the start of the year, you're all fired up and make a long list of goals. Lose about 22 pounds this year, learn to speak English fluently, start a side hustle to make $5,000 a month, read 50 books. But when the end of the year rolls around, there are barely any check marks on that list, and unfinished goals are piling up like a mountain. Chances are, you'll curse yourself. Why am I so lazy? My willpower is terrible. When am I gonna stop being such a quitter? I used to be right there with you. Back in 2019, I was super motivated. I set 15 annual goals in one go. From waking up at 6 a.m. for a morning run, to studying English for 2 hours every night, to writing side hustle articles on weekends, I filled my schedule to the brim. I even thought, this year, I'm definitely gonna turn things around. Spoiler, when I looked back at the end of the year, I'd only checked off 3 of those 15 goals. The rest either got started and abandoned, or were totally forgotten. Back then, I also blamed it on laziness. I forced myself to get up early, dragged myself through English study sessions, but the harder I pushed, the more burnout I got. Eventually, I threw in the towel entirely, even giving up on waking up early. It wasn't until I started reading books on cognitive science that it clicked. Poor execution isn't about laziness, and it's not about lacking willpower. It's that our cognitive systems are outdated, like trying to run new software on a 10-year-old laptop. Of course it's gonna lag. Today, I'm gonna break down what I've figured out over the years and give you actionable tips to turn I want to into I did it. First, let's get this straight. That laziness you hate? It's just your cognition holding you back. A lot of people think cognition is some vague, abstract thing, but it's not. Simply put, cognition is how you understand the relationship between goals, actions, and results. People with poor execution still see these 3 like a kid in elementary school. A kid thinks, I want to get 100 on the test is a goal. No need to plan how many words to memorize or math problems to solve, they think. I want to get 100 today counts as taking action. No need for step-by-step plans, and they think, I didn't get 100 today, means they're worthless. No need to figure out what went wrong. Us adults make the same mistake sometimes. We mix up wishes with goals, thoughts with actions, and no short-term results with no value. This logic seems fine on the surface, but it's long overdue for an upgrade. Let's break down 3 of the most common cognitive mistakes, see if any hit home. Mistake 1. Vague goals are basically no goals at all. You say, I want to learn English, is that a goal? Nope, that's just a wish. You didn't say what knowing English even means. Is it having simple chats with foreigners? Understanding English movies? Passing the CET 4 or CET 6? You didn't say what you'll do every day, memorize 20 words? Practice listening for 10 minutes? And you didn't say how to track progress, go from 1,000 to 2,000 vocabulary words? Understand a news segment? I had a friend once who said, I want to lose weight this year. She'd say I need to get skinny every day, but never specified how many pounds she wanted to lose, or planned what to eat or how long to exercise. At first, she stuck to skipping carbs at night, but after a week, she weighed herself and only lost about 0.55 pounds. She got discouraged right away. Losing weight is impossible. I'm just not cut out for it. Then she turned around and ate hot pot. See? It's not that she was lazy, it's that her goal was too empty. No clear direction, no way to measure progress. The second things get tough, it's easy to quit. A real goal needs to be broken down like taking apart building blocks. For example, learn English could become memorize 600 high-frequency words in 3 months and read simple English passages, then break that down further to memorize 20 words a day and spend 10 minutes at night making 3 sentences with them. That's not a castle in the air, it's a tiny task you know exactly how to tackle the second you wake up. Mistake 2. Thinking short-term gains equals success and forgetting long-term growth equals results. Have you ever thought, if I work out for a month, I'll definitely get abs? If I learn to write for 3 months, I'll make money from submissions? If I do a side hustle for 6 months, I can quit my day job? I used to think that way too. If I work hard, I'll see results fast. Spoiler again, I worked out for 2 weeks, my stomach fat didn't budge, and I even hurt my back from bad form. I stopped going to the gym immediately. I wrote for a month, got rejected by every publication, decided I have no talent, and put down the pen. Later, I realized our brains are tricking us. They're wired to love instant feedback. Eat a candy, taste sweetness right away. Scroll through short videos, get a quick dopamine hit. But real growth is slow burning, like bamboo. For the first 4 years, it only grows about 1.2 inches. But starting from the 5th year, it grows 11.8 inches a day, hitting nearly 49 feet in half a year. It's not that it wasn't growing those first 4 years, it was growing roots underground. The deeper the roots, the faster it grows later. Take my writing journey. For the first 3 months, almost no one read my articles, and I only had a few dozen followers. But I didn't quit. I wrote 300 words every day, and every week I'd review which sentences didn't work and what content do readers like. By the 4th month, one article suddenly went viral. I gained over 1,000 followers, and editors started replying to my submissions. See? It's not that there were no results, it's that they were piling up. Those days you think, I'm not making progress? You're just putting down roots. Mistake 3. Judging progress by feelings and quitting over short-term flops. Have you ever quit something after a week because it felt like it wasn't working? Like learning guitar. You practice chords for 7 days, still can't press them right, and think, my hands are too clumsy. I'm not cut out for this. Or making short videos. You post 10, get barely any likes, and think, I just don't have the luck for views. Might as well quit. I used to do this all the time. In 2019, I wanted to be a book review creator. I filmed 1-minute bookshare videos every day, but after half a month, each video got less than 100 views and only 2 or 3 likes. I thought, I'm not pretty enough, my voice isn't engaging. The more I dwelled on it, the more down I got. Eventually, I shut down the account. But later, I saw another creator say she posted 100 videos in her first 3 months, all with low views. But she didn't quit. She wrote down every day, what's better about today's video than yesterday's? Like, the camera didn't shake today, or my delivery was more natural. By the 4th month, one video blew up over 100,000 views. We're always quick to judge ourselves by how we feel or short-term results, but we ignore hidden progress. When learning guitar, you might not notice your fingers are a little steadier today than yesterday. When making videos, you might miss that your footage is clearer than it was before. These small wins aren't visible, but they're building up to something bigger. It's like putting $1 in a piggy bank every day. At first, nothing changes. But after 100 days, you've got $100. Progress works the same way. Small gains add up. My turnaround, from 3/15 goals done to 11/12 goals done, I only changed 3 things. In 2020, I completely rebuilt my action system. No forcing myself with willpower, no yelling at myself for being lazy, just 3 simple tricks. By the end of the year, I'd checked off 11 out of 12 goals. Later, I realized the core of these tricks is upgrading your cognition, training your brain to think and act more efficiently. Step 1. Break goals into too small to say no to actions. Before, my Learn English goal was study 2 hours a day. Just seeing 2 hours made my head spin. After work, I was exhausted. Where would I find the energy? Then I broke it down to memorize 20 words a day, 5 minutes max. Guess what? Even if I worked overtime until 11 p.m., I could spare 5 minutes to finish those words. 5 minutes isn't even enough to scroll through one short video. There's no excuse to say no. Same with working out. I used to aim for run 3 kilometers a day, but I'd skip it if it rained or I felt lazy. Then I changed it to do 10 push-ups a day. Even if I was lying in bed, I could prop myself up and knock out 10. If I was really tired, doing 5 was fine. It's better than nothing. Here's a pro tip. The broken down action needs to be so small you can do it even on your worst days. Instead of read 30 pages a day, try read 5 pages. Instead of write 1,000 words a day, try write 300. You might ask, can tiny actions even make a difference? Trust me, they do. Checking off a small task every day gives you a sense of accomplishment, and that feeling makes you want to do it again tomorrow. Before you know it, it's a habit. For me, I started with 20 words a day. When that felt easy, I upped it to 30, then 50. Half a year later, my vocabulary had grown by thousands. Step 2. Replace feelings with data. Build a feedback loop. Before, I judged progress entirely by how I felt. I feel like I got better at English today, or I feel like my workout wasn't a waste. But feelings are unreliable. They're easily swayed by mood. Then I started tracking data. For vocabulary, I used an Excel sheet to log how many words I memorized, how many I remembered, how many I forgot. For working out, how many push-ups I did, how long it took, was I faster than yesterday? For writing, how many words I wrote, how many views, how many likes. Every Sunday night, I'd spend 20 minutes reviewing, looking at my logs to see which actions I nailed and which I missed. If I saw I didn't memorize words on Wednesday, I'd ask, why? Was I working overtime too late? If yes, I'd adjust. On overtime days, memorize 10 words before leaving the house in the morning. If 10 push-ups a day felt too easy, I'd bump it to 15. Don't underestimate this track plus review routine. It helps you see exactly where the problem is instead of guessing. For example, when I first started writing for my side hustle, I thought no one reads my stuff because the platform hates me. But when I checked the data, I realized my titles were way too long, readers didn't bother clicking. So I learned how to write shorter titles, and my read count doubled right away. You don't need a fancy spreadsheet, just use your phone's notes app. Spend 1 minute every day jotting down what I did today, how much I got done. Spend 20 minutes a week reviewing. Slowly, you'll notice your actions get more focused. Step 3. Treat failure as a debug signal, not a quick card. I used to be terrified of failing. If I forgot 10 words, I'd think, why am I so stupid? I can't even remember words. If no one read my articles, I'd think, I'm not cut out for writing, then quit. But then I read something that changed everything. Failure doesn't prove you're bad at something, it's telling you your current method isn't working. Time to adjust. Once, my goal was write 300 words a day for articles, but I missed 3 days in a row. It wasn't laziness, I'd worked overtime and was so tired I'd fall asleep as soon as I got home. Before, I would have called myself unreliable and quit writing altogether. But this time, I didn't berate myself. I asked, why didn't I write? Was it time? Then I adjusted my plan. If I work overtime, get up 10 minutes earlier the next morning to make up the 300 words. After that, I never missed a day. Another time, I tried making a PPT. After 3 pages, I thought, this is ugly, I give up. But instead of deleting it, I sent it to a friend and asked, what's wrong with it? How can I fix it? They said, the color scheme is messy and there are too many fonts. I fixed those issues and later, that PPT got picked for a company project presentation. Failure is just a chance to optimize your actions. Think about it. When you're driving with GPS and take a wrong turn, the GPS doesn't yell, you're stupid. It says routing you a new path. Your actions work the same way. Messing up doesn't mean you're bad. It means you took the wrong route. Adjust, and you're good to go. People with sharp cognition use these 3 mindsets to drive action. Later, I realized people with strong execution aren't just more hardworking or have better willpower, they think differently. They use smarter mindsets to handle goals, actions, results, so they get things done faster and better. 1. Systems thinking instead of linear thinking. Ditch the one big push, stick to a consistent process. Linear thinking is, I worked hard today, so I should get results tomorrow. I messed up this time, so I'm terrible at this. Systems thinking is, I need to build a sustainable process that makes action flow like water. Take fitness. A linear thinker might say, I'll run 10 kilometers today, so I'll lose 1.1 pounds tomorrow. They get exhausted after 2 days and quit. A systems thinker says, I'll build a fitness system. Run 2 kilometers a day, stretch for 10 minutes before bed, eat veggies 3 times a week. Even if they only run 1 kilometer one day, it's fine as long as the system stays intact, results will come. Or side hustles. A linear thinker says, I'll start a side hustle this month, so I'll make $5,000 next month. They quit when they don't hit that number. A systems thinker says, I'll build a side hustle process, write 2 articles a week, optimize content once a month, learn 1 new skill every quarter. Even if they only make $500 the first month, as long as the process improves, they'll make more later. The core of execution isn't how much you do in one go, it's can you keep doing it consistently. Building your own action system is way more reliable than forcing yourself with willpower. 2. Probability thinking instead of certainty thinking. Stop chasing guaranteed success, chase more tries. Certainty thinking is, I have to succeed at this. If I fail, I'll stop. Probability thinking is, the odds of succeeding might be 10% now, but if I try more, that can jump to 50% or 80%. Take job hunting. A certainty thinker says, I'll send 1 resume, so I must get an offer. They panic, I'll never find a job if they get rejected. A probability thinker says, if I send 10 resumes, maybe 1 gets a response, but 20 or 30. I'll definitely get an interview. And they revise their resume after each rejection to boost their odds. Or making short videos. A certainty thinker says, I'll post 1 video, so it has to go viral. They quit when it flops. A probability thinker says, if I post 10 videos, maybe 1 gets views, but 50 or 100. 1 will blow up. And they check data after each post to tweak their content until they find what audiences love. Other than you'll get full if you eat when hungry, there are almost no guaranteed wins in life. Accept uncertainty, try more times, and you'll actually have a better shot at succeeding. 3. Feedback loops instead of one-off actions. Don't do once and done, do and adjust. One-off actions are, I did this, and I won't change a thing no matter what. Feedback loops are, I did this, checked the result, adjusted my method, did it again, and adjusted some more. Take selling stuff. A one-off thinker says, I'll set this price. If it doesn't sell, oh well. A feedback loop thinker says, I'll set this price. Track sales for a week. If it's bad, cut $10. Still bad? Add a free gift. They keep tweaking until it sells. Or cooking. A one-off thinker says, I'll make this dish. If it's bad, I'll never cook it again. A feedback loop thinker says, this is too salty today. I'll use less salt next time and try again. Slowly, they get better at it. There's no perfect start, only a process of doing and adjusting. Treat every action as a chance to gather feedback, and you'll eventually find what works best for you. Final thought. You don't need to force execution. When cognition upgrades, action follows. I used to think execution is something you're born with. Some people are just naturally hardworking, others lazy. But that's not true. Execution can be trained, and the key is upgrading your cognition first. You don't need to set big goals right away, and you don't need to force yourself to have to achieve anything. Start with one thing that's too small to say no to. Memorize 5 words a day. Do 1 push-up a day. Write 100 words in a diary a day. Jot it down on your phone. Review once a week. When you mess up, don't berate yourself. Just figure out how to adjust. Slowly, you'll stop needing willpower to push yourself, and you'll stop calling yourself lazy. Because your brain will have learned to think the right way, and action will feel natural. For me, since I started using these tricks in 2020, I've not only hit my goals easily, but I've also built habits of reading, writing, and working out. I'm in way better shape than I used to be. Remember, cognition determines action, action determines results, results determine fate. You're not lazy, and you don't lack willpower, you just haven't upgraded your cognition yet. Start today, and you'll realize execution has always been in you. You just needed to find the way to activate it. Stop waiting for tomorrow. Do it now, find one small thing, and just do it.